Hi, and welcome back to Inside Baker. I'm Tricia Shelton. Thank you for staying with us. Wes, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Tricia.
No problem. So you're editor of the yearbook this year, correct?
I am, the Baker Wildcat.
And what does your responsibilities entail?
Basically, Emily Nickel and I are the head editors of it. She's the managing editor. I'm the editor-in-chief. And we are responsible for coming up with all of the stories that we're going to cover that year, all of the layouts, making sure all of the pictures get taken, making sure all of the students' pictures get taken. And there's a series of deadlines that our printer sets up for us to make sure that we're going to, get the book done. And so we have to meet those throughout the year. So far this year, we had, for the first time, we had a deadline first semester. And so we had to have 40 pages in then, and then we have another deadline coming up where another 40 pages are due. So, yeah, it's just basically figuring out everything that's going to be in the yearbook, assigning our writers what stories we want them to cover, and the photographers what we want them to shoot.
So how do you go about getting people to join the staff? Do you have a full staff now? Do you need more people?
We could always use more people. We had 4, I believe, or 5 staff writers at the start of the semester, and then we lost 2 of them at the semester's turn. So right now we are working with about 5 people total, but it's going to be a great book. We've got 3 staff writers right now, a photographer, and then Emily and myself. So this semester, Emily's been really good about taking on a lot more story assignments, and so she's been contributing a lot more to the writing aspect of it. I've been designing most of the book, which is actually one of the original reasons I joined it, so I don't mind doing that at all. I really enjoy publication design, and so it's given me a chance to be kind of creative and adopt a bit more of a handmade scrapbook feel to it that I think will surprise some people when it comes out next year.
How much of a time commitment is this for you? I mean, daily, weekly?
Daily. I'm trying to get a bit better organized. I went to bed yesterday at 4:45, or this morning at 4:45, I guess. I'm also involved in the newspaper, and so I'm routinely pulling all-nighters with the rest of the staff for them on Wednesday nights. So my sleeping habits are quite interesting. But basically, about the 2 weeks before the deadline comes up, because I haven't exactly been carefully laying out, I'm going to work an hour this day and an hour this day, and then I won't have to pull an all-nighter. About 2 weeks before the deadline comes up, I'm routinely going to bed about 3 a.m. And that's just copy editing and making sure everything is going to be final and good. And then we get proofs back from the printer, where we get to decide. They send them back to us, and we see how they're going to look. We get to go over them one last time, and then we send them in and pray that we didn't miss anything huge. So I get work-study credit hours for 10 hours a week, and I probably put in 20 or something like that. But yeah,
there's just a limit that you can only get.
Yeah, basically there's a limit for the amount of pay that they're going to give me, and that's understandable, because if everybody got in the publication department got paid what they get paid, or got paid for what the amount of time they actually put in, then Baker probably wouldn't have that much money left.
So you just get 1 credit out for doing this, correct?
The yearbook class provides 1 credit hour. It's considered a lab, much like the television station, the radio, or the newspaper.
Do you feel like that's fair, that you're just getting 1 credit, but you're working like 20 hours a week?
I'm okay with it, because otherwise I'd be getting charged overage fees for taking more than 18 hours. So I'm okay with it only being 1 credit hour, because for some of the lesser involved, like the staff writers and that sort of thing, it is less of a commitment, because they've got that 1 hour a week when they come for class and everybody meets and goes over the reviews and the lessons that they need to be learning. So the 1 hour thing I'm kind of okay with, because I'm not taking the yearbook class or the newspaper class for the credit hour. I'm taking it for the real life experience that Baker offers in its publication department.
Well, that's a very good way of looking at it.
Yeah, and staying positive.
Yeah, I got to.
Yeah.
So you said you were also involved in newspaper. Are you involved in anything else on campus?
I'm the junior class president. Yeah, junior class president and student senate. And on campus, no. I work at Wheat State Pizza, so feel free to come on over, get the student discount, because we care about Baker students over there. And be sure to get the wheat dough, because I feel that's better. But that's about it.
Well, thank you for those interesting tips.
Oh, you're welcome. I can make you a specialty pizza anytime you want to come in. So.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Sure.
How do you feel Baker students perceive the yearbook? Is it something that people look forward to getting, or is it just like, oh great, a yearbook, this is
Oh,
something I have to pay for?
I don't think Baker students really care about the yearbook at all. Based on the product that was put out last year, that had a very big problem with getting people's mugshots taken. Initially, in the beginning of the year, there was a problem where they lost all of the photos that they'd taken. They were deleted off the server accidentally. So they lost about 400 photos, and so they had to be going through and doing a bunch of reshoots. In the end, unfortunately, there still probably wasn't even half of the student body included, which upset a lot of people. And I can understand not wanting or not feeling like you got everything you wanted out of the yearbook because your picture wasn't in there. At the same time, yearbooks are more of a historical record, and years down the line after people have graduated, then they can look back at the yearbook and read stories, and that's where a lot of the readership comes in. And so right away, students aren't as interested in the yearbook. It's hard to generate excitement about it. But that's something that Emily and I have been trying to do this year with the new design approaches we're taking, the new story coverages we're doing. We're doing a feature about study abroad, and we've actually used students' snapshots from when they've been over in Harlexton. Digital photography has been a big help with that. We also did we're doing a story about turning 21 at the mine, and we use people's snapshots for that. And so it adds a bit more of an interactive feel with the readers that their pictures are getting represented. Same thing with the Greek spreads. We have pictures from various toga parties that the Delts threw, and some of the initiation stuff and the first things that the SIG-Fs did, just to name a couple of examples. And so we're trying to get the students more involved, feel like they're more a part of the yearbook to kind of increase that excitement.
So how are the pictures going this year? What % would you say you have covered?
I'd say we're at about 50%, actually. We've had approximately 6 or 7 different times to take photos, not counting this semester, where earlier we had an advertisement in the newspaper, and we're going to be having one last photo opportunity that we're going to be putting flyers up around campus, doing an all-campus email, and making a Facebook event. Hopefully everybody that wants to be in the yearbook will get included, but basically we're coming down to the point where we have to submit those pages for the deadline, and we can't keep shooting until the end of the year. And so we're really looking forward to getting that done, getting that out of the way, and then focusing on the rest of the spreads. But right now we've really only got about 50% of the students, which is disappointing, and we actually push those pages back in the deadline so that we can have a chance to get more students in there, because I know that that was the big qualm with last year's book.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, and hopefully people will see this and go get their picture taken.
Hopefully. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, Wes. Well, thank you, and thank you for joining us here on Inside Baker. We hope to see you back next week, and in the meantime, stay tuned to Channel 70 for more great programming from Baker University.